Hello, and welcome to Academic Coaching Presents #ScreenGap. My name is John Zakrowski Jr. I am an academic life coach here in the Center for Learning and Academic Success at Suffolk University, located in downtown Boston. And joining me in real life, although a screen to you perhaps, it's Savannah Markham. Hi, Savannah.
Hi, I'm a student here at Suffolk University.
Yes, you are. And
I am.
How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
I love that for you.
Did you sleep a lot last night?
Not really, but it's okay.
Okay, because we might be kind of talking about that sleeping.
Yeah,
in
the
bed
source
and
for that
stuff like
maybe.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So welcome back to our conversation about what and how technology is affecting student life on campus. And today's topic is going to be bed rotting. And I do just want to say this at the top, okay? Bed rotting is a very specific type of activity where you will be spending a lot of time in bed. Now, when it comes to feeling like you cannot get out of bed, you might not understand why, and you might feel like it's a little bit different than consciously just wanting to stay in bed. I want you to know is that Suffolk University and other medical health professionals have the support system for you, and all you need to do is reach out. Our wellness center absolutely is here to support you if you are feeling that the reasons why you are staying in bed is a little bit different from the conversation that we're going to have today, because from here on out, when we speak to bed rotting, it's a pretty I would have to say just cultural norm that everybody participates in. It's a little bit more conscious, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we should get started with explaining exactly what bed rotting is.
Yeah.
Okay. I will start with a little bit of a definition here. And essentially what bed rotting is when we use it in popular culture, like in our culture, is just an extended passive time in bed that is conscious. It's voluntary. I want to stay here. And it might involve being on screens quite a bit.
It has to be.
That's it. And that's essentially what it is. I became really interested in this because I read this article called Loserdom Goes to the Mainstream. And the article's main idea was staying in now, especially for young people, is becoming the norm. And I want to have this conversation. So Savannah, I'm going to start out by just asking you is, what's your opinion on bed rotting?
Personally, I'm a D1 bed rotter.
Oh no!
It's honestly a hobby within itself for me. But I feel like bed rotting in general, I think it's good within moderation, like all things. I think, on one hand, I use it as like a way to take a break from everything. Like if I'm having a week, like this week where I'm just constantly on go, I want to take a break and just lay in bed and scroll on TikTok for like 5 hours. And I think when it's like conscious like that, it's a good idea. I think when you're doing it unconsciously, like maybe you have like 5 assignments to do and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna lay in bed, take a quick nap, and then get up, and then you're in bed for like the next 6 hours watching Netflix and stuff. That's where it starts to become like a little bit out of hand. So it's like, I guess it depends on why you do it and your motivations behind it. But I think overall it's a great thing, personally.
So again, we are in the podcast space right now.
We are.
And one of the rules of podcasting is it's really great when you have two co-hosts that just don't see eye to eye on a topic. It's because I am here to roast bed rotting. Absolutely.
Wait, before you start,
Okay.
have you ever bed rotted?
No.
So then you can't roast bed rotting, you haven't bed rotted.
I understand the concept and I understand where it's
But
coming
you don't
from.
understand the concept because you've never done it.
I don't know the joys. Absolutely. I mean, have I lingered in bed? Absolutely. But have I consciously thought to spend a Saturday night or even a Monday because I am so exhausted? Like, go to bed, go to sleep, take a nap. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But to just consciously choose to rot away with my screen in a bed for 5 to 6 hours, no.
I think first you need to do it. Like I feel like that should have been an
That's my
experiment
homework.
for you. That should have been your homework for this episode is to go bed rot and then get back to us on it. But I think in
the
general,
same way I would know I would not want to jump in a volcano,
You know-
and I don't need to experience that. I know I do not want to.
it's quite literally not that serious. Like, it's not that deep. But I think when you think of bed rotting, you're thinking of it's dark. I'm under my like comforter. Like I got my heated blanket on. I have my TikTok on one screen. I have my iPad on the other screen. My TV's playing like Housewives of like what? What am I watching? Salt Lake City right now.
Is that what you're watching?
Like, and it's not like that, like bad. Like for me, my rotting isn't that much of a rot, right? Like, on like a comparison screen, right? Like we have like maybe a full trash dump as like the ultimate bed rot, and then like there's like a trash can, and that's like a light bed rot. You get what I'm saying with like the scale?
Yes.
So like I'd be like a trash can where like I'm in bed, but I'm not under my comforters. I probably have my heated blanket on, but I'm sitting on my bed. I have my TV running. Maybe I'm also it might be dark in my room, but I might have a small light on, maybe perhaps a fairy light, and then maybe because it's not like bed rotting doesn't have to include a screen. I think people think that's inherent, and it's not inherent. I like to crochet in bed. I think it's great. I do have 2 screens running while I'm doing that, but
that's not bed rotting.
That is bed rotting.
No, because
John,
you're being
you don't
active.
know what bed rotting
no,
is.
I hate to break it to you.
That's not.
There's a passive component
There is.
towards bed. If you are in your bed and like you are like crocheting, you're being active. You're just choosing to be in bed to do that. But the first part is exactly classic bed rotting.
But see, that's what I'm saying with the scale
You want to
of the
expand
trash
it?
can, right? So maybe,
can
I
take
wouldn't even
the
say I'm not a trash can. I'm like the trash bag that's still in your house.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay.
maybe the trash can is like, okay, it is in fact dark, and I do have 3 screens running, and then I'm in bed. But then like there's the full dump, and that's when you're all the way in bed. Everything's dark. You're just watching TikTok. You've been in the exact same position for like 5 hours. You have not eaten. You have not drank anything. That is like the lowest form of bed rot. But there's levels to it. There's really levels to it. And if you bed rotted, you would understand that.
Okay. So let me so the one positive thing, and this is really bizarre to me, the one positive aspect of bed rotting that I think I could get behind, in a weird way, it connects people because you can have conversations about that. Like if I bring up like bed rotting, people's faces just like a smile because, oh my God, they love it. Not me. But in that way, you have conversations about this activity, don't you?
Yeah, it's because I don't want to say it's a hobby, but it almost is like a hobby within a way. Like just in like how normalized it is and how it's a conscious like effort to do.
Okay.
I think it can be seen in that way. And like you do have conversations about it, just like, oh, like what did you watch when you were doing your like 5-hour bed rot or something like that, So I feel like it honestly becomes a conversation. It's really a topic these days.
And let's really like look at it through like a student lens too.
Yeah.
Why would a student choose to bed rot?
Because would you rather like lay in bed and watch TikTok or do like the 40 assignments that you have due? What would you want to do?
That's it.
Like it's just about, honestly, I think a lot of it's avoidance within itself. And the thing is I will fully admit, like on like a true bed rotting day where like I really am not doing anything, it's not that relieving. I'll be so honest, because after I'm like, like I just spent the last 5 hours watching 30-second TikToks, and then I'm like, I didn't really do anything with myself today. And that, I'm not gonna lie, after, it kind of bothers me. Like I do feel a little unproductive after.
Oh my God! It sounds like you're coming over to this side, just like a little bit. But what you said was really profound and really, really interesting to me. It's like, so one of the strategies is to avoid life, or in this case, being on
responsibilities, I'd say in general.
That's it. It's just like a conscious choice.
But at the same time, I feel like sometimes I set myself up to bed rot because I'm like, I have to earn it. So like, okay, now I have to make sure I clean my room. I take out the trash. I clean my pots and plates or whatever I'm using in my dorm. And then after I can bed rot. So in a way, it can almost be productive just because like if you're setting yourself up to do it.
You're doing so well. Now we're down to bed rotting being
because productive. I'm never going to let you be right. You can be like 50% right, but you can never be totally correct.
Okay. So there we go. A student might opt to bed rot, to choose to bed rot, to avoid responsibilities. Can I also ask you something? Do you think it's also to avoid social interactions?
I think, you know what? I think it depends on the student entirely. Mm-hmm. Like I'll say last week, I had the choice between either going out or staying in bed. And I chose to stay in bed. And like, in a way, I think that it was because like the people who had invited me out, I didn't know them super well. And like for me, like I'm not like, I'm always gonna be like an introvert. I'm a very like inside like person. So for me, it was like, okay, well, technically it's more responsible for me to stay in bed because what if I go out and this happens and this happens? Like, it's just not responsible. So I think it's like, it depends on who you are. I will say in like that way, it was like me trying to paint it as keeping myself safe. But at the same time, it really was, I just don't want to go out because I don't want to have to socialize. Now that I like think about it.
Oh, right.
Honestly. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah. But I also had a long week. So it was like, okay, well, I just want to lay down. Like, I don't really want to have a long week and then go out after that and then be more tired.
The other thing that I do just want to ask you is, do you think students might bed rot because they're burnt out?
100%.
Right, I think that's
100%.
And that I can get behind. That I can get behind.
But that, no, honestly, I think that's where you kind of hit that line when you like brought up that disclaimer at first, where you hit the line between bed rotting and then like more like mental health issues, where bed rotting is just how it presents itself, you know? Because I know I've definitely been on both sides where there's times where I bed rot, it's a conscious effort, not conscious effort, but like it's a conscious thing, versus where there's times where like there has been where like I legitimately can't get out of bed, and like being conscious of that difference is super important, because like bed rotting, while it's not the most productive thing, it can be okay, but when you're doing it because you like literally cannot get up, that's when it's something that you need to take action towards and like work on that.
Do you think it's accepted behavior?
Yes.
Like, it is, isn't it?
It's 100%, because that's what I'm saying when it's a hobby. It's because it's so normalized.
Stop that.
Okay, it's not a legit hobby, but it is like in the aspect of an activity that you do consciously. That's what I'm like defining a hobby as right now. Like, and it's just so normalized that like we're having a conversation about bed rotting, that within itself, because that means that bed rotting is a thing. It's an official term now.
Oh, it is a thing.
And it's just like, it's such a part of, I wouldn't even say society, but just like, I guess being a teenager or being a college student in general, like I can't name one college student I know who has never bed rotted.
I agree with that.
Sometimes we have marathons. It's like a multi-day thing.
You do not.
It's
a multi-day
I've
thing?
had like I've had a 2-day bed rot where I was like the whole weekend I'm not doing anything. If it's raining outside, like last... No, like you can't blame me, especially like we just had the nor'easter with the rain and stuff. If it's like perfect setting for a bed rot, why would I waste the opportunity?
Okay. The one thing, so for me, I'm learning here. And I would absolutely say if it comes to like burnout, I find that very interesting and almost like very acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do think there are conversations that we could have about that as well. But what concerns me about the burnout is, are people just burned out with connecting with other people in real life?
Like I always say, it depends on the person.
Okay.
Like I think it really, you know what, I'll say it's definitely in the beginning of the semester or the beginning of the year where it's like you're coming back from summer. Summer, you're already spending time with your at-home friends, people you've established for years. So it's like when I come back to school and I'm like, okay, now I have to learn how to actually talk to people again and like people I don't know. That's where it's like, okay, well, I am gonna bed rot because I've spent the entire week, like the first week, like the syllabus week, I've spent this entire week talking to new people, meeting new people, introducing myself to professors, introducing myself to my new coworkers, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, yeah, that's a break from socializing and just being by yourself. It's like kind of embracing being yourself and being by yourself sometimes. So in a way, I still like say it's not a bad thing.
I don't want to put it like
well, it's not black and white either. It has its pros and cons, because I've also said things that are bad about it. So it's like.
But there are some things that I wish people reached out more to have like conversations about. And one of these things is socializing.
Yeah.
Is because I think that's an important part of being here on campus. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, Savannah, but I teach a class on friendship.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, that jar's getting bigger, bigger and bigger.
$3.
But like I think that there can be a little bit of concern for me if people are consciously opting for that option as opposed to like, hanging out. But oh my God, do you use the phrase social battery?
I absolutely do. I'm not gonna lie. It's like one of those millennial phrases that I'm honestly okay with. Like I did kind of wonder, they have a little pin and it's a battery and you can like change the charge of it.
You do not.
I don't have it, but that's one of the only things where I saw online and I was like, I might have to get it just because it is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I love that.
But that's entirely a thing, like social batteries, definitely.
You really do believe in that?
I 100% believe in that.
Oh, okay. And so the other thing so let me ask you about, do you think there's like digital fatigue that comes with like bed rotting too? Like might you just, no, it really doesn't like fit in there because like you're probably like using your screens, right?
Yeah, I feel like inherently when you're bed rotting, you are using screen. yeah, I think maybe fatigue from not just digital in general, but like specific apps perhaps. So like there are times where like, cause Reels and TikTok are like, Reels is Instagram's like short video platform.
I know what Reels are.
I'm just making sure, John.
Okay.
Anyhow, so like
I
Reels and
invented
TikTok.
Reels.
One of my like worst habits is like going in between Reels and TikTok. And so, cause I know that that's one of the reasons my attention span is so bad right now is because it's like 30-second videos. So I will say like there's bedrots where I specifically make sure I'm not on either of those apps.
Oh, lovely.
Just because I'm like, I know that's gonna make it worse. So I'll try to like pick a like form of like long-term content. So that's when I'll pull out like a TV show that I love or like a, God forbid, again, a movie. And then I'll have like another social media that I go on instead. So maybe instead of Reels, I just grow my regular Instagram feed, which is somehow different. But honestly, it's still the same thing.
So how do you think like bedrotting can affect like a student's academic life?
I think if you're not doing it correctly, in the way, and by correctly, I mean the way I do it.
I think you make a fair argument. I do
feel
see
like
what you're saying.
I bedrot the right way. Because I like
Your crocheting in bed is not bedrotting.
okay,
You
I'm
are
saying
being active.
okay, I'm saying the days I don't crochet and I'm like
Okay.
actually just laying in bed.
Yes.
I feel like then I'm doing it
You're doing
correctly
it, okay.
because like I said, like I set myself up to do it. Like I can't bed rot and my room's a mess. That's one of I hate if I get out of bed and my room looks horrible. Biggest pet peeve. So like I make sure my room's clean. Like if I have any like chores, which isn't really that much now that I'm in college, but like make sure, or if it's my week to clean the bathroom, take out the trash, make sure that like, okay, I need to eat later, so let me make sure I go grocery shopping to make sure I'm set up for like success. I feel like when you're setting yourself up for success and using it as a reward, it's okay because even the day after I bed rot, let's say I bed rot all of Sunday and now it's Monday. Now I'm like, okay, well I need to make sure I do my assignments because I just spent all of yesterday doing nothing. You get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying.
When you're aware of it and use it as a tool in a way, which I know you're probably gonna hate that, I think it like can almost, I don't wanna say it improves your like academic life, but I say that it kind of.
It's improving at the academic
Okay,
life.
so that was definitely 2 steps too far, but it can almost help in a way. But I think if you're just doing it constantly as like a avoidance technique, then that's where it goes downhill because it's so easy to turn 1 hour into 5.
That's it. Can I ask you a question based off of something that you said? So you're in your room, right?
Yeah.
And you realize that you have to get something to eat at Trader Joe's.
Yes, I love Trader Joe's.
And it's 11 o'clock on a Friday.
Yeah.
And you need to like, restock on, do you eat peanut butter?
Occasionally.
And you need to restock. What are you gonna do?
Go to Trader Joe's.
Thank you for falling into my trap. Why wouldn't you call a friend? Why wouldn't you call a friend to have them go with you? You're wonderful. You should like that is
what
an
kind of
opportunity.
trap is that?
Because
Because
the
you didn't
trap
ask me that.
No, I did. What would you do? Right?
Okay, so-
I know like some people would be like, I would call my friend and we would go to Trader Joe's. You did not say that.
Because guys, my default friend is in Australia right now, so I actually can't.
Or it could just be like, it's an opportunity to
Well,
make
it
a friend.
depends because it depends
It's
on
an
what kind of
opportunity
friend.
to connect,
You know
get out
what?
of your bed,
Let me
not
paint.
rot, connect.
Okay, but that's such a specific scenario. You
know.
didn't paint the day. If it's a true bed rotting day when it's raining, no, I'm not gonna equip another friend because why would I make somebody else go into the northeastern weather? Like that's not fair. But if it's a nice day like today, it's sunny, it's warm, it's beautiful outside. If I had to run to Trader Joe's before my bed rot, I'm gonna have a friend come and then we're gonna make it a trip.
Well, you didn't say that.
Because you didn't ask.
I did ask that. I absolutely did.
You asked like one very pointed, specific question, and then swore you caught me on it.
I caught you.
And then once I explained it, you agreed with me.
I did not. For rain, absolutely not. But like, I know people whose first option would be like, well, the first thing I would do is I would call somebody.
But like,
you didn't do that.
But
you didn't do that. No, we can move on.
Okay.
We can move on.
You know what? I don't argue, so it's okay. It's fine.
So
next topic.
Do you think like, and so like, when it comes to like, being a college student, like sleep is important, like, but bed rotting can affect sleep as well, right?
Oh yeah, insanely.
Okay.
I think, well, no, where are we gonna go with that?
No,
I think.
I was gonna follow you. That's
the other thing about bed rotting is like being in bed constantly makes it harder to fall asleep, in my opinion. And I know a lot about this because if anybody struggles to sleep, it's me. Like I'm like
yes,
constantly.
Yeah.
Like John knows, like I'm constantly like tired always, and so it's like. Do I feel like bed rotting negatively affects my sleep though? I wouldn't. You know what? I'll say yes because I always fall asleep later in the days I bed rot, and I don't know why on like a scientific level, but I assume it's because I've been in bed all day, so my brain is just like, when you're reason you're not supposed to study in bed is because you're supposed to associate bed with sleep. Right. So when you're bed rotting, you're kind of associating your like minor activities with your bed instead of sleep. So then that way it kind of pushes the sleep off. So I will say it can negatively affect your sleep, but it's also like, how long have you been in bed? Because like, how long do you think the average bed rot is? Or like, when you think of bed rotting, how long do you think it is?
So fantastic. So I do think exactly how you defined it, like 5 to 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
It's just like 5 to 6 hours, conscious choice, right?
Yeah.
To either avoid something, you know, either social or the 40 assignments that we have to do.
Yeah.
So I would say like 5 hours.
But then I'm like, I guess it depends on how you schedule your bed rot too, because it's like most of the time I don't do that. I feel like that's more of an end of day type of thing. Okay. So in a way, your bed rot just kind of blends into going to sleep. So like if you start at 6 p.m., 6 hours is 12. And then that's about when I fall asleep on like a school night. So it's like, it kind of just blends into each other. But like on a weekend where a bed rot really could become 8 hours easily, I guess sometimes I'll like kind of form a break in between. And also I feel like there's breaks within bed rotting.
Okay.
So it's
Were
more
you
like
active?
a time.
Yes.
Yeah, like, cause you have to get up and eat eventually at some point. I try not to have food in bed. That's another thing
That's
too.
another big thing.
Cause yeah.
So, last question.
Yes.
One thing that you mentioned in the beginning, thank God we have perhaps video and audio representation of this, is you don't always feel good after doing it.
I don't like that you called that part out.
Sorry.
I said a lot.
So it's not a relaxation activity.
It can be.
But not always. We don't always
But
feel
not
good
always.
afterwards.
When you're doing it for avoidance, I feel like you don't feel like great after it. Let's go with that.
agree.
But if you're doing it because you just can, then like it doesn't really bother me. But then I still feel like inactive because like now I go to the gym regularly. So then I'm like, I could have went to the gym, or I could have done this, like, or I could have learned something, you know, within that time. So I guess it can go either way.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I think you should really bed rot like once just to like understand.
We'll bring the cameras. We'll watch me bed rot for like. Okay. Thank you. Absolutely. So now John makes a little bit of a commercial to like actually to show how this topic relates to academic like life coaching, right? If you are avoiding assignments, that's so natural. That's what it's a very natural thing to do on campus. If you are feeling senses of burnout because things are just like too much, that's very natural. And working with an academic life coach or just coming to the center of learning of academic success, we can help you to look at your behavior and reframe it in a way to see if it is affecting your current success at university. Remember, we are all here to like some extent to learn, to grow, yes, to get good grades. And the support that academic life coaching can help you when it comes to like bed rotting could be like very profound. We will absolutely have conversations to help you to reframe it. And perhaps if we're doing it for avoidance, if we're doing it for burnout, ways we will help you to build up strategies in order to address that. Okay, sounds good?
Sounds great.
All right, so John does have a question this week. Absolutely, I do.
What's John's question about?
Well, you kind of like threw me off on like, you know, Instagram. Absolutely. So okay, I am going to do it. So my original question was, Savannah, what is Snapchat? Because I feel like it is the one social app I have no connection to, but that's still, I know how you feel about it. But that's my question.
Okay,
Savannah,
so it's what's Snapchat?
Yeah.
Snapchat has got to be like Snapchat out of all the social media is definitely the one that's falling apart the most right now because it doesn't, I think it's just because it doesn't have that short video like type of content. Because if you think about it, like every social media app has it now. TikTok started it off. We have Instagram Reels. We have YouTube Shorts, which nobody watches, but it exists. Like Snapchat tried to do that, but nobody watches it. I feel like Snapchat is less of social media and more of like another type of messenger. But like, it just doesn't make, to me, like, because I didn't get social media until I turned 18. I wasn't allowed to have social media when I was like a teenager at all. And out of all the social media apps, like Snapchat was the least interesting. And I think part of that is because you have to build it up. Like you can't see, it's not like Instagram where you can just see everybody's profile. You have to like add friends. And in most of the like socialness within that, it's just like sending pictures back and forth. But it doesn't make sense because it's like, you say hi, but then you snap a picture of like the third quarter of your face and like a little hi under it, and then somebody sends you a picture of their shoulder and they're like, hey, what you doing? And like that's how you communicate. It's just such an odd app, and I think a lot of people are like kind of distancing themselves from it because it was really more of a middle school, high school. I
was just about to ask, do you think it's like skewed
like
younger?
To this day, like I feel like I'm at the age where like if you ask me for my Snap, like that shouldn't be a thing anymore. Like in your 20s, I feel like you should not be on Snapchat, respectfully. So that's my like overall summary of Snapchat. But you don't have to worry about that, John.
So, dear audience, do not follow us on Snapchat.
Do not.
Absolutely. But you can follow us on other social media accounts, and please do. We absolutely want to engage you in a conversation. You can send us an email. We'll provide you with an email for academic coaching as well. And please follow us, like, subscribe on all the places that you either listen to us or watch us, and we'll be back.
We'll be back.